Within days of the protest, the Crown Prince Salman Al Khalifa called on the protesters to engage in dialogue. The move was welcomed by the opposition parties and the international community, and although many differences lay ahead, dialogue with all sectors of society began. The Crown Prince's initiative came with an amnesty, which saw the release of all opposition prisoners and the dropping of charges against radical political leaders who were outside of the country.
So that's why I'm with the people, and also I am with all the societies.
They included Hassan Mushaima. The Prince's gamble proved to be pivotal in what happened next.
I mean, talking about dialogue now is not enough. Promising is not enough. We have to see something on the ground.
Hassan Mushaima is a man with a reputation of being radical. He was once the leader of the opposition Wifaq party, the one with 18 of 40 seats in parliament, but he'd defected over his rejectionist approach and now heads up the unofficial Haq party. The group refused any registration with the government as required by Bahraini law, but was able to operate with relative freedom by the authorities. Mushaima is no stranger to political violence and has been imprisoned many times. He served his longest sentence between 1996 and 2001. Up until his return to Bahrain in February this year, he'd been living in the UK for 6 months in self-imposed exile. Mushaima's return was not only controversial because of his past, but allegations soon emerged that he'd stopped over in Beirut en route to Bahrain, where some say he met with Hezbollah leaders. There's no confirmation of this, but if it's true, it could stoke further tensions here. Upon arrival to Bahrain, he immediately rejected all offers of dialogue, and the opposition found itself quickly losing control of the demonstrations.
Those people who paid, those people who've been killed, those people who are ready to be killed anymore.
I would say the peaceful movement was hijacked by extremists who wanted more than what the requirements were of the people when they started the movement, and they had another agenda, a different agenda, and it was more like a coup rather than a peaceful movement.
I think the simple answer is Hassan Mushaima. He came to Bahrain to destroy the people's demands. Hassan Mushaima, his slogan is well known. He said, unless a couple of deaths took place in Bahrain, your rights will not be received. And this is why everybody in Bahrain was pushing himself for death, so his demands and his group will be receiving more attention. Is this a way to raise our demand peacefully? Is this peaceful rally or demonstration? Totally is not.
The problem with Mushaima's party is that it didn't have the much-needed support of the country's Shia clerical establishment. Mushaima himself had tried to fill the role of religious guide, but without any formal training, this didn't work. And so he's said to rely on the passion of Haq Party's radical message, and according to one commentator, its ability to put on the streets youths who are small in number, but ready to skirmish with the police every night if necessary. And sure enough, suddenly the protesters' demands had changed. Instead of concentrating on popular reforms that we heard about on the 14th of February, Mushaima and the newly released Abdul Jalil al-Sinkis, also of the Haq Party, started to radicalize the protesters. They called to change the system altogether, or in Arabic, Isqat al-Nizam. The area around the Khor roundabout was spray-painted with statements like death to al-Khalifa.
First of all, I don't think that these guys, when they started the protest, their objective was to bring down government. That was totally not the objective. But that was developed at a later stage by a group of them who were calling to bring down the government. And that was one of the biggest mistakes they have done.
Hassan Mushaima came and demanded the end of the Bahraini ruling family. King Hamad bin Isa al-Khalifa, his son, the Crown Prince Salman bin Hamad al-Khalifa, and the Prime Minister, the King's uncle, Khalifa bin Salman al-Khalifa.